30 people versus 3 people. Like those 2 months were just like,
matter.
we were just all locked in, code open all day. Felt like it became a real business. Solomon, sir.
Okay.
What do we have in store today?
Three of you guys all in the same room. End of the year. It's been what, 8 months since you guys all kind of boarded the ship together. What's it like for you guys now sitting in this room, shooting this formal podcast?
It's.
I mean, I would have never imagined it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, for me, it was earlier. I think I was standing in this room and looking across the other 2 rooms that we have that way. And it was just, I had like a little deja vu moment of like, wait, there's like 13, 14 people here.
Wow.
Because I was thinking about when we started,
Oh, yeah.
we were at Mindspace, and it was like just like the 3 of us.
Yeah.
It just kind of, I had this like, the comparison. It's like
Yeah.
30 people versus 3 people.
That office in Mindspace was so small.
Yeah.
What's
like-
Mindspace? Do people know what Mindspace is?
It's a co-working
co-working.
space.
It's like a WeWork.
So was that the first location you 3 worked together at?
Yes.
In this company, yes.
In this company, yes.
And when was this? This was in April.
April, May.
Yeah, April.
April.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
only, I think
Because
we
we launched
paid,
in April.
We only paid 2 months of rent there, so it's April and May.
But we launched April, so we were building it before that, like 2 weeks or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we launched 4th of April.
Yeah.
Oh, so
That was like the product on the
Okay.
day.
March.
Before that, yeah, so it would have been March.
Like March through May, maybe.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably the period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
March
Correct.
through May, then we got the apartment. I don't think a lot of people know about the apartment office.
Yeah, that was a fun.
We didn't really make it public.
on chapter. First, it's like we moved so fast. Like we're already in a 3rd office, and the company's less than a year old, which is kind
Yes.
of
Yeah. It feels like it's been like 5 years.
yeah.
I kind of miss the office apartment. The apartment office.
Obviously, wouldn't work today, but you know, there are moments, and I think in each one of them there were moments. Like in Mindspace, we were, you know,
Like, we could do what we wanted.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
we have-
in
we
the
have
in the office apartment for sure. Yeah, we lost that in the current office.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We'll get it back once we expand to our own space.
Yeah.
Co-working spaces kind of suck. That's my take on it.
Generally, yes, but we definitely made the best of this one.
Yeah.
I think this is as good as it gets for a co-working spot. Where,
Yeah.
for context, like we got 3 rooms like adjacent to each other. We just kept kind of buying the next room and the next room, and that's kind of how we scaled.
Stop with the foot, sir.
Why?
I did it in the last video, and I couldn't stop like focusing on that. Like I noticed it really.
Just crop it.
So no, I'm doing you a favor.
Or are you getting distracted with my foot?
I'm not getting distracted by it, but I got distracted by myself doing it in the last video,
Okay, how-
and then I was like, "What an idiot!"
I'll put my foot down. How about that?
I was watching it through, and I was
I'm
like,
putting
why,
the foot
why am
down.
I constantly, why am I constantly like moving it? That's all I could think
Now
of
you're
while I
doing
was
it.
watching
Look
it.
at that.
I mean, this is what I was doing the whole time. You know, and I think it's usually a sign that you're nervous. Are you anxious right now?
No.
Are you sure?
No, I always shake my foot. You can ask Chloe. Like,
Okay.
literally always.
I just want to make sure that you're okay.
Are you always
I'm
anxious?
all right.
I'm the CEO that looks after his team.
Thank you. Yes.
I've got your back. Just wanted to make sure that you're okay.
I appreciate it.
Let's try to help.
Oh.
I actually think that was great advice. Because honestly, you would have seen the episode and you would have been like, "What a fucking idiot."
Have you seen the Palantir CEO in the interviews?
I think I could do.
I think
better.
I'll be fine.
Hey, I was just saying. I was just giving you some CEO to CTO advice.
I think it's more like I'm energized.
Yes.
There's a lot of energy in me, so that's why I'm
It's like trying to
have to let it out somewhere. You know.
Okay, I can get with that.
Yeah.
Should we do a tap dance?
If you want, why not? Different episode.
We've moved from Mindspace. We then had an office which was actually an apartment, which I'm now living in until the lease runs out. And now we're in another co-working space. We're 15 people. Do you like it here?
I think I do because the commute's short, for starters.
Yes.
I mean, it's functional for now. I am definitely looking forward to the next space.
I think it's a good like stepping stone onto the next like real office.
Yeah, I also haven't had
Plus-
too much time to really kind of sit
Like
and
we-
question it.
But we only
Yeah.
did it because we just didn't fit in the other
Oh
one.
yeah, we were
So
about
we
to
needed more
hire-
space, but we didn't have enough money for like a bigger, like an actual office.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, what's the in between?
We were about to hire, I think, 2 salespeople, and we just didn't
Yeah.
have anywhere to put them anymore in
Yeah.
the apartment. So it was like,
Yeah.
we need somewhere next week, so we got this like temporary space while we fundraised. But yeah, I think next space will give us back some of the freedom.
Yeah. The main reason I miss the office apartment is because I used to have to wake up when people would get there, and now I have an excuse not to. So it gets to like 8:30 a.m. I'm like, God damn, I've got to get up and get ready.
Yeah, they had like
Before people would just turn up and they're like, hey, you get there early. I was like forced into action. Now it's like, I get there at 9:30.
Yeah,
It's gonna kill me. No one's gonna ruin this. So I can slowly feel myself getting back into my old like sleeper habits.
I see.
Which is poor because I was always in the UK, like 5 hours behind you guys.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that it doesn't get like that here. Be waking up at midday.
Yeah, I mean
staying until midnight.
that chapter's over, but
Yeah, I miss it.
yeah.
A little bit.
But from Mindspace, when you guys were there, what definitive thing happened that made you guys realize, okay, we need to move and go to a bigger space?
It just sucked. It was like 3 desks. It was
They said it wouldn't be smaller.
It was smaller than this. And for context, this isn't a very big room.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was like
half of this.
It was like this room, but without the back part, basically.
I think it was smaller.
Yeah, I would think we were like, what if we pay a little bit more and we
Yeah.
just 4x, 5x the square footage? It's probably more than that actually. It's probably like 8x, 9x
Yeah.
the square footage. Definitely worth it. But I also remember like working out at the desks there, and it was like the stock, like desks.
Yeah, yeah,
and the
that's
chairs were
terrible.
awful. The desks were awful.
There was also construction going on all the time.
The commute was also
Yeah.
not ideal because it was
Yeah.
taking like 40 minutes for all of us to get. I mean, sometimes we stay in a hotel nearby, but from where we were, so we're like, what if we find something next door,
Yeah.
and it's like 9 times bigger, and we can customize it and do more stuff with it.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't too bad for me. I think I was like a 10-minute cab from Mindspace because I was staying in Williamsburg at the
Yeah.
time. I had like
Yeah.
the Airbnb.
Yep.
So it wasn't bad for me, but you guys had to get the ferry, right?
Yeah, if we wanted to
Yeah,
take the ferry, you could also get driven or take an Uber, but it was just awkward. It wasn't.
It also wasn't very well connected with like the subway. Like at least here, it's actually well connected.
Yeah, from where we are, for sure.
We just walk 5 minutes, take the subway, and you're already here.
Yeah.
So much nicer.
I think that's when we also started thinking a little bit about creating our own studio, like our own podcast studio, stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Yep.
And there's no way we could have done it there.
No.
But in the new apartment, we have multiple rooms. So we're like, one of the rooms is going to be a studio. The other room is going to be, temporary hotel. I think we want to save also because we're spending a lot of money on hotels every time you
Yeah,
visit.
damn, it was expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Like,
like
it's the same
5K on
price.
hotels plus the rent for the
Yeah.
office. What if we combine that budget, get like a kick-ass space?
Yeah.
It's kind
It
of
was, it was like a no-brainer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it set the tone for the culture of Compay as well.
It definitely got better.
Like it feels like that was like our garage moment.
For
You know,
sure.
like
Yeah,
the-
it's
the
like-
Microsoft, like Steve Jobs, fucking
Yeah,
family
yeah.
house.
It's
Yeah.
like if you're in Silicon Valley, what you do is you rent a house, you work out of the hotel.
Yeah.
If you're in New
Yeah.
York, what's the equivalent? You get an apartment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's correct.
Yeah. It did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
And then
What was the vibes like in the three of you guys in this small space at the co-working space? What was it like?
I think there wasn't enough time for us to really get like too deep into it. Like we were all busy shipping, right? Like we were in the biggest like time crunch I think at that point.
The best way I could describe it is like it was like hacker mode.
yeah.
yeah.
Like those 2 months were
Like, it
just
didn't
like
matter.
we were just all locked in, code open all day.
Yeah.
Every day for 2 months.
Yeah.
I think it felt like it became a real business once we moved out of that place.
Yeah.
But it was essential because that's when we actually built the foundation for the product that is
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. We needed somewhere like which was practical
Yeah.
to actually make the app that we were
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to sell.
But also like the room that we were at was actually like far removed from the actual windows in the place. So it's kind of like this like dark corner. We were there,
Yeah.
with our hoodies on, like just locked in the dark, just like
Yeah.
shipping for 2 months.
We have a couple of pictures. We should show someone sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty small.
But this was after you guys got like the angel check from Nathan.
Yeah, from JJ.
From
yeah.
JJ, not JJ.
Yeah.
And what was that first check?
That was it was 400K. So it wasn't a lot. It wasn't like a huge amount. I mean, that's like a couple of months runway. We can stretch it out.
Yeah, I mean, we
Salaries
weren't
and
spending
stuff,
that much.
but-
it was just the 3 of us.
Yeah, it was mostly just like
Yeah.
paying ourselves, like, being able to live
like-
here.
Yeah.
That was the bulk of the.
It's like 8 months to a year is probably like the range we were sitting at.
Yeah.
When you guys receive a check for that much, like hiring more people? Is it expanding and getting, or getting salespeople, or getting more engineers, investing in a bigger space? What's the first move that you make when you have 400K in your hands?
Well, I think the biggest mistake is probably not spending it, right? So what you could do is try and like overly optimize for just like salary and runway. But I think with a small check, like 400K, you're supposed to build your product, hire 1 or 2 people, like maximum, and then essentially get as far as you can. And if you can't get anywhere with it, well, you run out, new idea. Because if you can't get PMF with it, you're cooked. But with that 400K, we built the product, we hired Mariano and Claudio, we launched, and then I think we had maybe like 10 or 15 customers, right, before we got like the follow-on, the pre-seed.
Yeah.
So we spend money on like marketing, trying to get the first like initial 10, 15 people signed and sealed, and I think we achieved PMF by the time that had kind of like come to we were about to run out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think typically you want like to just afford enough time for like the core founding team to just keep shipping as long as possible, and then again, like Louis said, either you make it and you have a product that feels like it's resonating with your audience, or you don't. But I do agree that like towards the tail end, like if it's already been 10 months and you're not really getting anywhere, and you start to just like cut costs and like try to kind of like extend it, like
What's the point?
you're better off like
You're rather-
cutting your losses and like resetting. Yeah.
Or go out with a bang, like you try your hardest.
Yeah.
You actually did as much as possible.
Yeah, but you gotta
don't wanna
be
count the
fearless with it. You
next idea.
can't be like, oh, I'm too scared to fail, and then I'm gonna spend it's a slow death, but you're already on your way to dying.
Yeah.
Doesn't really help you.
Yeah, there's not much you're going to be able to do with it. I mean, I remember spending 5K on the moon in a game.
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you were there.
No, you
I
was
joined right after. Yeah.
It was right after, right?
I think it's as soon as I joined, I heard about it. And like, you spent 5K on a moon. I was like,
In a game, so it wasn't even the real
In a
moon,
game?
You know?
it was like Levels IO, right? Like he
Yeah.
launched a game or something.
Peter. I mean, I knew that, I can tell you with like certainty at that point in time, I knew that the moon itself wouldn't do anything, but I knew that he would tweet about it.
Yeah.
Right, so I knew that it would like get
Yeah,
traction.
you paid
on
5K for a
socials,
tweet from an influencer.
Yeah.
That when you
And
put it
it's a
that
pretty
way,
cheap,
that sounds.
and it was a pretty cheap deal because I
Yeah.
mean, he had like 500K followers. The game was already going viral. Like people were already like, this is crazy. He's making money from it. No, not a single person had sponsored it at that point. So we were the first people to sponsor a thing in his game. I knew that like if we did it for like $500, it wouldn't invoke like an emotional reaction from anyone.
Yeah.
If you 5K, people are going to be like, these guys are stupid. But they're going to make themselves very, very, they're going to be loud about how stupid you are, which in turn amplifies everything.
I guess let me ask you, like, how has your vision of what to spend on, what not to spend on, like, changed, evolved? Like, it's been, I guess, how many months? Like 6 months now, roughly, since the summer. This is like let's say 8 months since we like properly launched. So now we're, business is different. Now we're 13 people. How are you thinking about marketing? Either the same or different?
It's completely different.
Yeah.
We have PMF now. Before that, we were just trying to basically be loud to get people interested in at least like listening to our idea. Now I think we're much more like trying to optimize for ROI, whereas 8 months ago we were optimizing for whatever like pushes
Just
the numbers
trying
up. Like
random
the more
things.
people that you have on your wait list, or the more people tweeting about it, whatever was going to happen, we were just trying to optimize for maximizing that amount of output. Like what can you get from it?
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, if we spend, 10K, can we make 20K? Can we make 30K from it? So it's completely different. Like your mindset is, all right, if we spend this, are we going to be able to double it?
Yeah.
That's it.
So I know I think across either past episodes we've done or just like conversations, we always keep talking about kind of like the origin of the company. And I think we probably like spoken enough about that period of time. I'm kind of curious about, kind of if you fast forward to like today, like last week, this week, like what are maybe like the 2 to 3 things that you're like most excited about or like most fired up about the business? Whether it's like marketing campaigns or stuff that's happening in the product.
I'm still overly excited about the product.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're shipping like.
But it's changed a
cracks.
lot, right? So it's like, what's kind of like
Yeah.
the latest that you're like, that's the thing I'm really looking forward to that can maybe change things fundamentally.
I think we're getting to the point where we're becoming more mature, like as a company.
Yeah.
And we start to do more big company things, like having like PR around certain things, like trying to be actually trying to move away from being this like small pre-seed company to being recognized as like okay, Series A plus. You have maybe 20 or 50 people. You're being mentioned in like Business Insider. You're being mentioned on Forbes. All of these different things. So I'm pretty excited about how we're kind of like maturing into that. I think that will. Most companies at the stage, if we were 3 months ago, maybe it probably wouldn't have made sense for us to try and optimize for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think on the engineering side, like, we just hired like 2 more engineers, full time, full stack. Both of them are like AI native kind of coding, right? Like, and previously it was all of us. Then at some point we started shifting, priorities. Like you work on this, you work on this.
Yeah.
Like different parts of the business. So then eventually it was just me basically, and I was able to get a lot done. But now having 2 more people to, it's basically like 3x the output.
Yeah.
So like we were already going fast, but now we're gonna go like crazy fast.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I think also like the scale of the projects that you can take on now is you almost like start to think bigger, like both in terms of products, in terms of campaigns. There's more resources, there's more people behind it, so you can get to play startups at almost like at scale.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the amount of the videos that we're producing, like the quality of them is like, it's like, man, I could see this on Netflix. Like it's that good. The product that we're building, it's like some of these capabilities are like, each one of these new features could be a product, $1 billion product on its own merit. And same thing with the sales team is like, and partnership, like the partnerships that we're landing this week, which we can't talk about yet, but like some of that stuff is like, these are world known brands that are recognizing us as market leaders. And like, it gets you thinking bigger.
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, I think that the biggest change has been essentially every single idea that we have thought about in the past can actually come to fruition now.
Yeah.
Like before, you had maybe 5 ideas, pick one and run with it, and that's what you can do. But now we can basically run all of these ideas in parallel.
Are you also getting this issue? I feel like part of what I'm running into now is yes, you're absolutely right. I think you can execute more of your ideas. So it almost, there's like do you ever run out of ideas? Because I feel like I'm kind of getting to a point where like, I come up with ideas, it used to take a while to execute them. Now it's like, we actually get through them very quickly. And I find this moment like every couple of weeks that I have to pause, be like, okay, I need to come out with the next 5 ideas because we just went through all of them.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to optimize now for the one idea that we can just continuously run with.
Yeah.
Right, so like getting the agency clips to the end of that and seeing, okay, will that help us go from X ARR to 100 mil, 200 mil?
Yeah.
Right. And I think you probably don't need as many ideas at this point. You just need 1 thing or 2 things that work really, really fucking well.
Yeah.
And that's it. Right. You run with them, keep on going. You push those like avenues that are working. That's it.
I found one of the best sources of creativity working with the media team has been when something starts to work, rather than seeking outside for like the next shiny object, it's like you look at the same thing and you ask the question of what threads are in here that I can keep pulling.
Yeah.
And almost like, how do we go deeper and deeper and deeper into the same story to kind of build more context and more depth, because people are already engaging with it. And I think there's, if you get really creative, there's so many more angles and so many more like sub stories you can even tell within that story. So I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well, at the same time, all of the brand is just growing as well, right? So we go from, I don't know, when we first started, we had obviously like no followers on the X account, on the LinkedIn account.
Yeah.
And as we like continue to be alive, that's growing consistently and it compounds. So everything kind of gets, in a weird way, it's harder to find these things, these one-off things that just work and push the numbers. But when they do work, when you find it,
You double
it
down.
works really well, right? You just continue to go down it. And it's easier to test if something works when you have an audience there already.
Yeah.
When you have customers there already, they can test these things. You can A/B test everything. You can see what is actually pushing these like the numbers up for us. Whereas when you're like pre-PMF or pre-revenue, you have to just kind of like figure it out. You can't tell what's really working at that point until something is working.
Yeah, it's already like it's like guessing
Yeah,
what's
you're
gonna be the next.
guessing.
Yeah,
like,
and now you
what's
can
gonna
afford
go.
to try more things out properly all
Yeah.
the way and actually get some real data instead of having to make.
Yeah, you gotta be more methodical about it and
Yeah.
track it and make campaigns around it and
100%.
figure it out. And usually it leads you to more success.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like higher rate of success rather.
So how do you feel like you guys have changed personally in the journey over the last couple of months? 'Cause I feel like we've all kind of matured in a way. Like there's things that I think I'm now see differently and maybe act differently relative to, you know, kind of being a pre-seed founder, and now we're essentially Series A founders.
Yeah.
Curious, like what have been some kind of some of your internal changes, and what has been the hardest part about that process?
I think learning how to like pass down my like how I think and how I do things to like the rest of the team, to kind of like empower them to be like what I was doing basically. So that's something I've had to work on that I haven't thought about before.
Are these like skills, or is it more like mindset, or?
Yeah, like skills, mindset. I don't know, like you know, engineering is like cutting scope or like learning when to go deep, when not to go deep. Stuff like that is kind of like to me it makes sense in my brain,
Yeah.
but it might not make sense to everyone who you hire.
So I think some people
You can't
come from like
expect them to
a
be-
big tech mindset type of thing, and they
Yeah.
they think of product very differently than you do in startups. So
Exactly.
there's a little bit of a learning curve there.
Yeah. Obviously, you need to know when to do something like really, really carefully, and then when to like let it be a little bit rough.
Yeah, I remember even when you transitioned into kind of building your team, that at the beginning you're very locked in on just like writing code, and that's been
Yeah.
like the way you operate for a really long time. And we almost had to, I think, just like really convince you to like, okay, now's the time to, you're gonna slow down the amount of code that you're pushing
Yeah.
out on purpose.
Yeah.
I think there were like there was a period of 2 weeks where you wrote no code whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it was just purely interviews and recruiting, and that was a big shift.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It took me a while to find the right people, but I think it was worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was hard kind of like stepping away and saying, you know, I'm not going to write a single line of code, even though like I know I could fix things and I could do it, but I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
I was just focused on.
We had the same thing happen in sales as well. Like when we first decided to like go scale that team,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you kind of have to take a hit. Now you have to get a punch in the face for a couple of weeks where like the numbers are going to look bad.
Yeah, everything.
No code's going to go out.
Yeah. I think the biggest change for me, or the biggest difference I see, like in terms of maturity, is trying to be more understanding of people. So it's like one thing being a 4-person company, 3 or 4-person company, it's completely different at 15. And I can imagine it's just going to get completely different by the time we have 40 or 50 people. So, well, you guys know me best probably. I'm the sort of person who has in the past like come in and be like, guys, we should do this, and I've been completely wrong about it. Changed my opinion on it, 2 weeks later, and we've gone in a different direction. But I still feel like sometimes I'm like in the back of my head, I'm like, I know I'm right about it, but I need to almost let people figure it out themselves rather than just steamroll the whole kind of like thing through. But it's hard for me to accept that a lot of the time as well, because I'm like in my head, I'm like, well, the point we're at is so important that we get it right. If we get it wrong too many times, we're just going to end up in this like this stage of like no growth or something. And
Yeah.
if we have a down round or something like that, then everything's going to suck. So in my head, I'm like weighing up, okay, is this worth actually steamrolling, or should I just let it go?
Yeah.
And let them figure it out, let someone else figure it out completely, or should I take the hit and just look like the asshole that's like coming in like, no, this is the best idea, like everyone else just stop. I think that's the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference.
Yeah, I feel part of it's
Like
also
letting
like the way to run startups is very different at this stage, where at the very beginning is you almost want to try a bunch of different ideas.
Yeah.
And you almost need to break things and not get stuck in a particular kind of path for too long.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that's death. Once you hit PMF, it's like you have to double down on that path. And right now we're at a stage where something that we're doing is working, revenues are growing, there's a predictable growth machine. So it's almost counterproductive for us to keep operating the same way that we were before, where before it was, okay, we should actually consider pivots very often because that might be the way to win.
Yeah.
Now it's almost like the way to win is to double down on the current thing. So
Yeah.
it feels unnatural when you've been used to pivoting and trying new ideas and new products like, for years, right? When we were like,
Yeah.
pre-PMF.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. I wonder what if your gut says that the pivot is the best thing to do, even at this stage? Like, would you go with your gut? Would you trust your gut, which is saying, okay, 100% of your conviction is, actually, yeah, this is working, but it could be working 1,000 times better if we did this.
Because I've been down that path at a previous company, and I think I was wrong. So I think I now approach it with a little bit more skepticism that like just
Yeah.
because you have an idea doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah. So like if you kept doubling down on the thing, like it would have turned out much better actually.
I've seen that movie play out, or like the thing that I was
Yeah.
doing that I got impatient. It was more like a lack of patience.
Yeah.
That I got impatient and I wanted like the quick win or the quick 100x. And it turned out to be more of a slow grind, and I chose to pursue the quick 100x, and that backfired. And then I look back and there's companies that actually stayed doing the long grind, and now they're billion-dollar companies. And meanwhile, I got
Yeah.
impatient, and that didn't go
And
anywhere.
you ended up with nothing.
Yeah, because I've seen that movie play out in the flesh,
Yeah.
now I'm a little bit more skeptical about chasing the shiny object, and that's why I'm like cautious of like, what stage are you in?
Yeah.
If I figured nothing out yet, great. It doesn't matter. There's nothing to lose because you're already at the bottom. Just like break it, redo it over and over and over. But if you already climbed the ladder a little bit and there's wind behind your sail, you might as well ride that out and find non-destructive ways of like trying all the other stuff on the side.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think a lot of the general advice that people give is like, as a founder at this stage, even now, it's like trust your gut, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like the general kind of advice that I don't know. Most like, I think Elon, if Elon was going to say something, he'd be like, trust your gut.
Yeah.
Like he would go with it and run with it. And do you just accept the failures as you go along?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you kind of have to. I think at the end of the day, like there's three of us, so part of it is like we kind of have to average our guts.
Yes.
Because there's more collective knowledge there at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think we're also very good at like we know which hills we're willing to die on and which ones we're not. And so we present our opinions, and if someone really has conviction and the other person has half conviction, typically the person with full conviction will push it through. And I think that's a good thing because it actually means your gut might say something, but if your gut is only 50-50 and it's not that convincing,
You let go of it.
yeah, you might backtrack a little bit. Whereas if your gut is like, no, I've actually seen this movie play out 10 times. I know for a fact, like I feel extremely strongly about this. You probably come up with a persuasive argument to convince the other parties and just get it done.
Yeah, I think that's why we're actually pretty good co-founders, like the three of us. I think that's how it has worked so far.
Yeah.
Like there's no single person that's going to be like, if I was going to die on the hill, it had to be a very fucking good reason.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that.
Yeah, I know. Today we're talking about our marketing page and what technology we should use, whether we should use like Webflow, some sort of like interactive way of doing it, or writing it by code. I'm actually not willing to die on that hill. So that's kind of one of those where I'm just like, you know what, my gut says this, but it's not that strong. So like, you know what, you have it. Like it sounds like you have a little bit of more of conviction around this.
Yeah. We just had a sale.
We just heard the gong in the
Yeah.
background.
That's the first.
Yeah, like we're here podcasting, and like the guys are making money over there.
I love it.
I mean, wow.
Funny how this works.
Yeah, how far we've come, you know.
See, this would not happen in pre-seed. It was like, if we're not pushing, if we're not doing sales, nothing is happening. Now we can just sit back, drink some old fashions, and ARR is growing.
Yeah.
Have you guys reached a point where you guys feel like you can leave everything to the team and things will still run the way that you want it to, or is there a level of intervention that you guys still feel like you guys are keeping with the rest of the team?
Entropy would be the word that I would fall back on. That's a very like academic way of putting it, but I think the answer is yes and no. And the reason I say that is because I think in the short term things will operate well.
Yeah.
But I think if you leave the process running unsupervised for long enough, it'll begin to kind of like decay and become its own thing. So there's a big kind of concept in Silicon Valley around like founder mode, and maybe you guys can touch on that.
I would say I think it would work for a while. and we may continue to just like stay where we are for a long time. Let's say we just completely left right now. I think we could continue at the same level of growth and just flatline. I think that would happen, right? There wouldn't be the
Which is still pretty good.
The diet. Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be good, but that's
yeah.
not how
Right.
like venture-backed companies
Yeah,
work.
no,
You have to be-
we're
you
going
have to be pushing for the
we're going for the moon
100Xs.
here.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So I think if we just like went away for 2 months, I think you'd probably just see stagnation, and that in turn would kill the company.
Then what do you guys think that when you guys come into work every day, what are the decisions that you guys are making while you guys are here and present with the rest of the team so that it's not plateauing and we're not 100xing, we're just growing at a steady pace?
I don't know. I think it's just we're consuming so much information from every single part of the business, right? That like one single person that works in one specific field, like in the company, is not going to know all of that, have all that context. So I think having all that information, we're able to make decisions basically. But
Yeah, I think it's like part of it is like observing the business and then diagnosing issues and seeing like where are people stuck, where are people disconnected, and where are we pursuing things that might have maybe created like a local maxima where like we're kind of stuck in place. And then part of our work is like just intervening whenever we see someone kind of like just getting stuck and just breaking that and reimagining that function. I think we kind of rotate around the business, right? So I think one week we might be like really obsessed around engineering and be like, hey, I think the product feels off. Like there's something that's just not quite clicking yet. And then let's put our heads together and fix that. The next week we might be looking at sales and be like, hey, you know what? I think the way we're doing our demos is not really as effective as it can be. And let's reimagine it, or like maybe the people there need something else to enable them to do better. So I think it's part of observing, diagnosing, and then just kind of rotating around the business and doing that constantly.
yeah.
I think there's something about hiring leaders as well. Yeah. So like as we go, we hire really good people that you could imagine like letting certain functions just be ran by, and then almost trusting like their instincts as well. So like for example, with sales, I'm happy to kind of take a step back from it at this point because I know that the person I've hired to run the sales function is aligned with what I like truly think needs to happen in that team. And if they are, if you can go from doing that thing every single day and like, looking at the numbers and being on those calls, as long as I can see like some, the numbers growing to the levels that I have in my head, then there's no problem there. You focus completely on something else until you start to see, okay, is this now dipping? Are the sales going down? Right? Did we grow 20% in 1 month and then next month only grow 10%? And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to take a look at this and figure out what happened there, get it back on track. How can we actually get it better going forward? But for me, I mean, most of the time I kind of just like prioritize based on like my gut, especially at the moment. I think there's nothing. We're still involved in pretty much every single team.
Yeah, but I think every day that we come into the office, I think part of what we're really looking for is how can we, I mean, this is constant, but like how can we 10x, 100x this business?
Yeah.
Like, that's a fundamental question. We look at our numbers and we're like, okay, next month we know we got to beat that by at least 30%.
Yep.
Right, month over month over month for the next couple of years. That's a tall order. So essentially, like from our perspective, it's like how do we 10x this business? What are the levers there? So if we look at sales, it's like, is there an opportunity here to 10x? They look at engineering, what are the opportunities here to 10x? So I think part of our gut is trained on identifying areas where like that doesn't feel like it's going to achieve that 10x growth.
Yeah.
And then asking that question again, day after day after day.
And you need to make sure that every single team is like being brought up every time, right? No one falls behind.
Yeah, it's kind of like a seesaw. Like you bring up this team, the other two teams are behind. Now we got to bring them up, and now we got to bring these guys up, and then you do it again. You push this team even higher.
Exactly.
You repeat the process.
Yeah, it's a constant push. For
And at the same time, have a fresh mind to keep on innovating with it as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, every new feature that we add, I think is a decent amount of like thought put into it.
Yeah.
That we think about, okay, what would this actually push in terms of sales? Like if we're gonna invest engineering time into like a feature or fixing something, is that feature going to bring in more sales? Is it going to help the sales team actually sell the product? Will it make them more efficient in selling it? Will it look better for our customers? Will they actually want to use it? Will it get used? And then there's the like the bug side of it, right? Like when we fix something, is that going to is it necessary to fix it right now, or is it going to fix a massive like inefficiency for like the customer success team, right? I think we're pretty good at like spotting that as well. I'm not sure anyone else would be able to do that like from the outside right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're very like direct with like,
Yeah.
no, this shouldn't be fixed right now. This we should fix.
And then
I think that just
prioritizing
comes from
it.
experience, from I don't know, from doing it for a long time.
Yeah, I think also when we talk about kind of like, okay, if we step out of the business, like, do we trust that it will continue to grow exponentially as it is? And the answer is not really. I feel like things would stagnate, but I don't think that's necessarily like saying anything bad about the team. I think the team is great.
Yeah.
I think it's more, we've spent the last decade of our lives like building products and essentially playing the role of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm definitely sure if you brought in great entrepreneurs, they could grow it.
Yeah.
But I also recognize that like the people that we have on the team have typically been just like subject matter experts in their own craft. So like they spend time doing sales, they spend time doing,
Yeah.
media, engineering, whatever. And it's like, you still need the component of,
You need all three.
you need all
Yeah.
three. You still need someone to be constantly questioning, how do we 10X? Like that's a role that needs to exist. So if we take out that role, of course, I think over time you stop, pushing the boundary that high.
Yeah, everything would continue as normal, which
Yeah.
you can't really fault that. But your job as a founder is to make sure that things are growing, not continuing as normal, right? I mean, it's not a bad thing. Like I feel like the team that we hired are fucking awesome.
They're so good.
Every single person in the company is like an A player, truly an A player. But there's a disconnect between like, okay, you hire like a great sales leader, you hire a great marketing leader, you hire, a great founding engineer. Are they all going to work together, right? And that's the thing that I would like be, okay, like sure they'll work together, but will they be aligned on, okay, how do we 10x the company in the next 3 months?
I think the way I see it in my head is like there's kind of two types of people. There's like people that create chaos and people that create stability. And I think as entrepreneurs, like you typically create chaos. Like you come in and you break things. Like you see a habit or a process and you're not afraid to question it and be like, let's actually do it differently. Let's throw it out the window and start a new one. At the same time, we want to hire people who create more stability in the business. And that's where it's like, okay, if you've been doing sales for 10 years, come and help us learn how to use these systems and create a process that stabilizes the chaos so we have a predictable machine for growth. Yeah. And you kind of need both. So I think a lot of people that we've hired tend to be like really good at creating stability in the business and predictability. Yeah. But we do, every now and then we need to kind of step in there and stir things up, which makes them uncomfortable, but it's kind of necessary function.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Yeah. I'm excited for the next like 2 years. Like I think all three of us would happily say like the next 2 years of what we are specifically building is going to be cracked.
Yeah.
Like there's no doubt in my mind that we will be a $1 billion company in like 18 months from now. Yeah. I can see it.
I will be more surprised that did not happen than that it did.
How does that feel? How does that make you feel? Knowing that in 18 months from now.
It's weird to say, but I kind of don't know how to feel about it. It's kind of just happening and I don't have too much time to acknowledge it, if that makes sense. We're kind of just like in the moment. I will say I'm very fulfilled and I'm very happy and we're just kind of showing up every day. At the same time, it's kind of hard because we're constantly on each other's throats about many, many things. We disagree a lot and that makes it like, it's a weird tension between you're winning and that feels awesome. Yeah. But winning is still difficult because you have to perform at your best and deal with uncomfortable situations. So it's a very complicated, like mixed bag of feelings that somehow produces fulfillment, even though it's not easy in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of decisions to make all the time. And like you said, you might not agree with them all the time. And
look, we're working like extremely long weeks every single week. And there's moments like, I remember like 2-3 weeks ago, I think it was like a Wednesday and I'm like, I can't move, like I need at least 1 day to breathe, which by the way, I did not take. I still had to show up to the office the next day. But that's how hard we're pushing. But at the same time, I don't question it because it's pulling you in and you just want to keep winning and it feels awesome to win.
Yeah. I always feel like I have bipolar with being the CEO and the founder. Like some days I'm like, God damn, I hate being a CEO.
Yeah.
The next day I'm like, okay, this is great. All right, like, okay, we're
Yeah.
actually doing something here. I think you probably just get used to that. I think most people would probably feel
Yeah.
the same. Like
Yeah.
regardless of the situation, regardless of the people that you're working with, like it's just it is an uncomfortable thing to do. Like founding a company is an uncomfortable thing to do, and it's probably going to get more uncomfortable as time goes on until you're at a point where okay, you already have hundreds of millions of dollars in your bank account personally. All right, and that's probably the thing that's probably not spoken about as much. Founders get into okay, $200 million valuation, $500 million valuation, and $1 billion valuation.
Yeah.
Right, like you have to really get to the $1 billion valuation before you personally see like the side effects from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all well and good being valued at X amount, but are you liquid? No. So you have the pressure of running a $200 million valued company, but you still have a basic salary, a basic kind of you don't have a Lambo yet. We don't have a yacht yet, right? So you have to do all of the shitty things while still carrying the weight of it as well, of running that at the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
it's like extremely delayed gratification, basically, or reward, I guess. In that
I'm a big
sense.
fan of extremely delayed gratification. I mean, it's going to be
Yeah.
exciting when it gets there.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I'm
we'll see
excited
though.
for
Like
it,
even the
but-
company building itself. Like forget the money, the money aspect.
Yeah,
But
it's
like
fun.
what we're doing today is like still fun. So some parts are delayed. I think
Yeah.
the financial
Like-
return is delayed.
The financial return is delayed. I'm like sat here crying.
Yeah,
This fucking
But-
sucks. I'm sat here in a suit drinking an old fashioned 5 p.m. on Thursday?
Yeah.
We're at to fly somewhere nice tomorrow. Yeah. Like, this job's hard.
Yeah, boo-hoo.
Fucking asshole.
yeah.
So you
It
guys
is
trying
hard.
to get to that $1 billion valuation. So you said that
At least.
you want to get there, or you believe that we'll get there within 18 months, right? So then
Yes.
to get there, what sort of milestones do you guys as founders set for yourselves personally, for the team, and for the leadership?
30% month-over-month growth.
30%.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
MOM. That's it. Yeah, I don't think anyone really truly thinks about like that far in advance. Like,
It's really hard to think that far out.
Yeah.
I mean, the rate of change that we have in this startup is insane.
Yeah.
Like 1 month is completely different from the other month.
But both market, people,
Yeah.
process, like
Yeah.
internally, like the company's completely different in the last 2 months.
Yeah, to try to predict
Yep.
how we're gonna get there exactly is impossible.
I do think we place our bets at the highest level, which
Yeah.
is like, okay, strategically, like what are the
Yeah.
things that enable us to go after a much bigger market?
Right.
And that takes months to materialize. I think that's maybe where we operate more. So our kind of like shift, more into cybersecurity over the next couple of months, I think it's a big one. That definitely opens up like a giant new revenue stream. So I think those bets we can make.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the tactical, like there's no way you can predict
Yeah,
what's going to
we
happen.
can predict maybe 2 months or 3.
I mean,
Even
listen,
then, man.
when I said 18 months, by the way, I was being generous. I actually think it could be a lot quicker than that. So I think we could be at
I mean,
$1 billion
we've only been around for
valuation
8 months. I mean,
yeah. But also,
to think it would take 18 to get to $1 billion, I don't think so. I think it's gonna be a lot faster.
yeah. And actually, it's easier to get to that $1 billion
Right.
valuation now. I mean, it's much harder going from 0
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
100.
the first 3 months we were actually just figuring out PMF,
Yeah. Now we have it. We have money in the bank.
Yeah,
That's
We
a
can,
machine.
like,
We know where to put, where to press harder.
Yeah. You just keep doubling down on what you're doing and you'll get there. A lot faster than you think.
I'm fired up now. I want to get back to work.
Yeah, I mean, look.
It's exciting.
Genuinely,
Good
there's
stuff.
no reason that we. When I think about it, okay, to get to $1 billion valuation, you have to 5x. Doesn't sound that hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easy. It's got to be easier than 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. But also, it's like you're not searching in the unknown. Like you already know the inputs. Now it's just world class execution, finding the best
I think
people.
it's, making sure you hire good people and
Yeah.
trusting your gut in some situations, allowing yourself to be wrong in different situations, and trust in the team
Yeah.
that you've built. I think that's it. That's all you can do.
That's probably been the hardest transition for me, is going from like a one man show, kind of like trusting myself to get everything done, to no, I'm a full time recruiter and my job is more to just give people stuff to do. And then you're almost like, it's a different way of feeling valuable in the business.
Yeah.
It's taken me a little bit.
I definitely felt weird after hiring like good salespeople.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, okay, well, now I'm not going to be
I'm
doing
obsolete.
sales.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You feel like, okay, I'm a bit lost. But I think after a week or two, I was immediately like, okay, actually, I know what I've got to do now.
Yeah.
And that's it. I wonder how many like founders fail at that point. I could imagine it's like a decent amount, like a good amount of people probably like, fuck, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And then just kind of like give up.
How did you decide what your exploit was? When you hired everyone for the sales team, how did you know what you needed to do?
I think it was more around like, okay, put in place a great team to do like the demos and actually sell the product. Now it's more about figuring out how we continue to hire those people and how we get them, each individual like hired, to contribute a certain amount of ARR so we can get to the goals that we want to hit. So it's more about like setting targets, making sure that those hires are great at what they do, and then you can kind of like that's not going to take you 60 hours a week. So maybe that's a couple of hours a week where you spend time on that, and the rest of the time is basically figuring out how I can maximize, like get the maximum out of it, and then figuring everything else out at the same time. So again, annoying people in marketing, annoying people in engineering, as opposed to just focusing on sales. Because there was a long time when all I did at Comp was sales calls. I mean, there was like a 4-month, 5-month period where every single day I would do 10 or 15 calls. And that was it, back-to-back sales calls every single day. No one else was there to do it. No one else was going to do it for me. So it was almost like I was in like a rut of doing it. Like I knew it would work. When do you stop doing that? Like when is the right time, as the founder who is good at doing the sales side of it, when is the right time to pull the trigger and say, I'm actually going to stop doing it. I'm going to figure out who else can do it and then go from there. I think it's probably I don't know. There's no way of me saying that was the right time, but I felt like it was. My gut said, okay, now is the time to step back. I think I was right.
I think it was
I think
also
it's
out of
perfect
necessity. I remember we
didn't have enough. Yeah, there's not enough time in the day to service every.
we had to go do something else, and then that took
Yeah.
most of our time, and then
Yeah.
it was just out of necessity where like other things needed to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And we just have to hire that CEO with it. This can happen.
Yeah.
I think same thing with engineering. So we really try to like push it like as far as it went before we had to hire, and then
Yeah. At some point, it was just there's so many feature requests or
Yeah.
whatever like work that needs to be done that
Actually,
just one
But now it's kind of the
one
opposite.
person can't do it.
Now it's like if you have money in the bank, it's like how aggressively and how fast can I deploy this capital? And I think one thing that happened as soon as we started getting more money available to us was you realize that it's actually not as easy to spend money as you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not as easy to find great people
Yeah.
as it seems initially. It's like, oh, as soon as we have money, we can hire great people. No, you still have to find great people and convince them to join your company. And then it takes them time to actually make a decision to move and relocate and stuff like that.
Dude, that's the worst part about a company. It's like the waiting around to hire people to.
It's like we have the money, we just want the people. There's a lag.
Do you remember the videographer we hired a couple of months ago? I can't quite remember his name.
Yeah.
And he was like, he was gonna start a couple of weeks after his when he moved to New York or whatever. And I messaged him like, yeah, so I'm gonna need you today, tomorrow. And he was like, yeah.
Made us wait
sure.
about 2 months or something like that.
Yeah, but dude, that time I was just like, I want to be moving.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? There's inner need to just.
It's like, how much is it going to cost me
Yeah, like,
to cut that time in half?
Like, is there anything I can do to
Yeah.
make this happen tomorrow?
Put a number on it.
Yeah. You'd be surprised at the amount of times that I would happily pay X amount of money to have something happen just quicker.
Yeah.
Because, all right, let's say it doesn't work out. You can fail fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's value in that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But if you're onto a winning horse, okay, like, you've got something.
Either way, it's
Well,
win-win.
either
Yeah,
way,
if
it's
it doesn't
win-win.
work out, you found out
Yeah.
sooner, and you didn't find out, 3 months later that it
Yeah.
wasn't going to work out. You found out almost right away.
I'm the most impatient person. You guys probably can vouch for that. Right?
There's benefits and there's drawbacks.
Dude, I'm like,
There's benefits.
I want it to happen now.
Yeah.
I want it to happen
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
In some cases, it's actually like great energy. In other cases, it's like certain things just take time, and those things you have to just kind of let them
Yeah.
marinate.
Yeah, I think that we need to I think we know when something
I mean-
needs to be
there's no
like
formula.
it makes sense to it for it to be quick.
But the answer is like there's just literally there is no formula. There's
Yeah.
no like there's no rule that we can write to like
Yeah, yeah.
how you make these decisions. It's like every single time it's going to have to be a conversation.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to compare notes.
Yeah.
Well, we truly do know how to make a decision. The wheel.
That's true.
The
If
wheel.
it comes down to it, yes.
I wonder how many people would freak out knowing how many decisions we've made with a random wheel generator.
Yeah.
The
like a
random
little name
number
picker, you
generator.
put names
Yeah,
or decisions and whatever.
Yeah.
Spin
Who
around.
did we hire because of that? We literally had like 3 candidates we really liked, so we put 3 names in the wheel.
You spin it.
We spun it, and then we actually hired the person that came out.
I mean, listen, if it's a tie, that'll at least get you to a decision quicker.
Yeah, they were all equally as
Yeah,
good.
we could have
don't know what
argued
to pick.
about it for like 2 or 3
If-
days, or we could
Yeah.
have just said, all right, well, we all have conviction.
Let the
spin
wheel
of
decide."
fortune.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
I love that.
there's value in randomness.
And if you think about it, you don't want to hire an unlucky person. You know, that's it. I'm glad. I don't want to hire unlucky people. Right? If they can't pass the 50-50 coin flip, then skill issue.
Yes.
That was fate.
They had no idea it happened, but skill issue.
the inner workings.
Can we get sued for that?
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's literally the fairest way to hire.
it's the fairest way, but also it's like ironically like smart from the perspective of what you don't want to do. If you're 50-50 in a decision, the last thing you want to do is argue about that
Yeah.
for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to get it to 51-49. Like that's just not productive.
Yeah.
If you're already at 50-50,
Yeah.
just make it random.
Yeah, just
Spin a
flip-
wheel, roll the dice,
Yeah.
flip a coin.
Would investors
pick.
freak out? Do you think they
No.
would? I think they'd love it. I think they'd
I
fucking
think they would
love
love
it.
it because
They
like,
would
oh,
do
you're
it.
making
They'd be like,
quick
yeah.
decisions. You're not getting stuck. You're actually making progress.
You kind of have to be so stupid to try it out, and they're like, okay, this idea is so stupid, it might just work, right? I think that. I think
No, but it's
that's
50-50. So it's like either one that could have worked. We
Yeah.
just
If it's truly 50-50, then it doesn't. Then it's good.
honestly, it's part of the secret about how we move so fast. It's like we just don't get stuck in this like
I can't believe-
indecision.
I cannot believe we've let this incredible alpha of how to run a company out. Like we've just given away.
Well, you
like
can give it away,
$1 billion thing.
Bet you people are not
People
gonna
are still
do
not gonna do
it.
it,
People are
yeah.
not gonna do it. They get too attached to their.
They're gonna laugh at it and think we're
951.
stupid,
Yeah.
and they're not gonna do it.
It's actually genius.
They're gonna debate it for a couple weeks. They're not gonna find PMF.
I bet you 50-50 of the audience are gonna say
Oh shit.
it's genius, and people are gonna say it's stupid.
Or crap.
So
Man.
we'll find out on the socials.
Yeah, we will. All right, what are you
Next
guys?
question.
What are you guys looking most forward to as we wrap up towards the end of the year? What's top of mind?
I think we're gonna close off the year really strong in terms of revenue.
Yeah.
Super excited about next year. I think we're gonna completely blow out like whatever our expectations are for revenue. Next year, it's gonna be
Yeah, I think we're set up.
unimaginable.
The team is ramping up, so I believe that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad that the holidays are coming up, just because I don't want to take like a day or 2 off.
Yeah.
Like I hate the weekends.
You know what I'm surprised is that people have not requested time off.
Yeah. Did I say this last time? I may have just said it may have just been a conversation I had during the week.
Yeah.
I really wasn't expecting any of the last couple of hires that we made to really be like that, like startup grind.
And so locked in.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. I genuinely felt like, okay, we're like 15 people, you know, we're hiring a couple of people that were, you know,
Employees.
they've never
Yeah.
been like, they've never worked for like a very early stage startup. So there's always that risk of them being like, you guys are fucking nuts. There's no way I'm going to work until 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And we didn't really set the expectation of it
Yeah.
in a way. We just kind of did it ourselves, and then they have naturally done it like themselves. Right? Everyone is here late.
Yeah.
And I think there's something there that like just tells me, okay, that's how I know that we built a cracked out team.
Yeah.
Because these you know, the last couple of hires were from like, you know, like Series A, Series B companies where it's much more relaxing. You know, it's always like big tech, right? It wasn't that. Yeah, everyone's locked in and everyone is like really, really like moving, like how things are working here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone's ever been in that.
But
position.
you know what I keep hearing from people is like they come in here and it's more about the culture and the culture of ownership that we've created. Where I think from at least like 3 different people I've heard, like they've learned more in the last like 2 months of working at Comp than they did in the last year at a previous job. And it's just like the amount of sort of wins and just experience is really just compressed. So they really feel like they're doing their life's best work. And that kind of like draws you into, you naturally want to work until 9 p.m. because this is really the best job you've ever had in your life. So I think that that's just a lot about kind of, you know, the foundation that we've set at the company. I think part of the challenge is as we think ahead at, okay, right now we're 13, 15 people or something like that. As we think about building, you know, 100-person organization, 1,000-person organization, how do you maintain that?
Yeah.
Where like every person that joins just feels like this is the best job I've ever had in my life.
General consensus is that you can't, but we don't believe that.
No.
Right? I think we can get to
Fuck that, yeah.
500 people.
I don't think people
1,000
have tried hard
I
enough.
don't think that people have tried. It's like they give up and then they hire a bunch of MBAs and consultants to try to like you know, create culture. And I don't think that's how you do it. I think it starts with the founders. And I think if you look at a lot of companies in Silicon Valley, like frankly, a lot of them are like Ivy League Andes, dude. Like they just don't have
MIT Andes, as we like to refer.
They just don't have the drive. They just don't have the drive. They just don't have the taste. They just don't have the culture for it. And I think that's one of the things that we've prioritized from day one. And I think we'll continue to do. And if we ever fail, then we shouldn't be, you know, running the company. We should let someone better at culture like do it than us. But I find that hard to believe that will ever happen.
There's no one else who's going to spend a lot of money on these suits and old fashions and a podcast room. That would do it, you know?
There you go.
Yeah.
Zero chance.
Do we have an electric guitar lying around here? Yes.
Yeah.
Does anyone know how to play it? Not one of us, but I think someone in the team does.
But we could learn.
We could learn.
We are gonna learn.
We are going to learn.
You know, we're gonna make a band.
Yeah.
The best
Yeah.
goddamn band.
Yes. Got the bass and the drums coming.
True story.
It is true.
True story.
Yeah. Will we be headlining the Comp AI Festival? Yes.
The Comp Fest.
The Comp Fest.
Yes. Doesn't sound very good, but
Sounds
We'll come
sounds
up with a
fucking
better
terrible. In my head, I was like, the compound, and I was like, it's kind of sus. You know, I'm like, I'm not sure.
we'll come up with a better name. We got a little bit of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
More to come.
I think every single person that we hire, we should make them watch We Crashed.
Yes.
There should be like a requirement before you join.
Cautionary tale.
Yeah. This is it. Fuck.
That's it.
Cut that bit. No, I mean it's. I think at least like the first like 2 or 3 episodes, they're all right. Sure, they fucked up towards the end, but they got the culture right.
Yeah.
They got the team building right. Like everyone there was bought into it. And I watch it. I watched a couple of episodes of it, and even not just We Crash, but like you know, the Social Network, the Spotify TV show. I can't remember the name of it. Like, and I watch any of those TV shows or like docuseries around like these cracked out companies.
These are iconic
like,
companies.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Like it excites me. Like I'm like, fuck yeah, I just want to go in.
Yeah.
I want to listen to Katy Perry on the way into work that morning. You know, I'm like hyping myself up, beating on my chest. You know, I'm just fucking ready to go and own it. That's it.
Yeah.
Everyone should come into work like that.
No, I do think that. I mean, ironically or unironically, I think that's actually what we're building, and I think that is how people feel kind of working.
I mean, that is why they work, you know, hard and they work late because they're motivated. I think part of it is like seeing how fast we move and the growth, and it's very exciting. You know, like in the middle of the podcast, we heard the gong go.
Yeah, but you know what's weird is like we never come into a workplace like how do we motivate people like that's just, it's not like the cringe like you know like how do we bring in Tony
have, like,
Robbins
those-
to like kind of get everyone excited, like we don't do that, like we're just being ourselves and we're prioritizing like a fun environment. Frankly, it's like we're just like what is funny, what is fun, and then we just like invest in that, and then that draws people in because they're naturally interested in being part of
I
it.
think we do fun stuff, but we also include people in our fun.
Yeah, want to
Like,
share.
It's not just like, oh, we're keeping all the fun.
we want to share the journey with everyone that's part of the team.
Yeah.
Quick question for you both. Have you ever worked, like, could you see yourself working for Comp AI at this stage? I think that's what I kind of like ask myself on how to like make a cracked out company.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely think, okay, at least like once or twice a week, if I was in one of the sales guys' shoes, would I actually want to work for this company? And every single time right now I convince myself, yeah, it sounds like hella fun.
Yeah.
But also, like, have you ever worked at a startup at that stage? Like yourselves?
Yeah.
Because you worked at WeWork, right?
Yeah, I
It was
worked at
like
WeWork, but then I've
how many
also worked
people
at a
were
Series
there?
A startup, and I've also worked at other companies, and even my own startups before. But sometimes I flip the script, and I'm like, even what we're doing now, I compare it to what some of these companies were, and I'm like, some of that stuff was kind of cringe.
Yeah.
What they used to do that I think we're doing way better. So I I 100% wish I had this experience. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the best comparison I've had that was actually positive was WeWork. WeWork was actually a fantastic place to
But
work.
you were there when there was how many people?
I think over 1,000.
But how great would it have been being in the first like 20?
Epic.
Like,
Epic.
like-
Because the things you get to see, man, it's just like the journey itself is just
Yeah.
to go from, I mean, when I was there, it was already a giant compound. It's like massive amounts of people, infrastructure. It's like over 50 buildings in New York City. It was just epic, like full blown scale. And that was awesome. But imagine being part of the team that built that.
Yeah.
And you
it
got to
would've been
see it
class.
kind of pop up, and then you have the memory of a couple months ago when that wasn't there, and then it starts happening, and it keeps happening in front of you. And
Yeah.
in a way, I kind of feel like our journey has been a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking about
Yeah.
Mindspace, and then the apartment, and this is all in the span of like, honestly, within the last 5 months, I think we touched every single one of those offices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And we went from 3 people to 13, and now I think by next year by next summer we'll probably be like around 30, 40, I don't know, and then it just keeps going.
It's gonna be cracked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember we had some people that were like interviewed in the old office, and then once they actually joined, they actually came to the new office.
Yeah.
So like they got to see like how fast we transitioned to the
Yeah.
new office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And completely different, and you know.
Yeah, that just blows people's minds, and like
Yeah.
I think
And we were telling them back then, we're like, we're gonna get a new office soon, and they're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, like they're a bit sus about it. Like,
Yeah,
"Wait, you
yeah.
guys have an apartment right now?"
Yeah.
Like, who the hell would accept
Yeah.
a job?
Yeah,
like
but
that.
you know what? I think there's actually like
Yeah.
there's actually 2 buckets of employees. Like one bucket is like people that are like straight out of college, like more like early stage employees that like come to this and they're gonna believe that their experience at Comp AI is normal.
They're gonna be
Yeah.
cooked.
And they're gonna be very disappointed when they go out and find their next job after they leave Comp or whatever
I mean,
happens.
it's impossible to find.
And on the other hand, you have people that are like a little bit late stage career and like they've worked shit jobs and now they come here and they're like, this is great.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I'm gonna cherish this. So I feel bad for the first bucket because I'm gonna be very, very disappointed to find out the world doesn't
Spoiled.
work this way.
Dude,
Yeah.
I had that with my first ever job out of school. Out of school, I worked for this company for 4 years, and I loved I hated it at the time, ironically.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't enjoy it that much. I did like the social side of it. I loved that bit of it. The work was very boring. After I left that job, I realized, God damn, not every single company is going to be like that. And I chased it for years.
Yeah.
I hopped around for a couple of years trying to find like the same feeling as working at that company, that like small, tight like group that
Yeah.
I had. And I felt lost for like 4 years after.
Yeah,
I was
what
like,
am I doing
fucking
wrong?
hate this. Like, I went to the second job that I had, the second company I worked for, and there was maybe 200 people. It's like, still a startup, I guess. It wasn't that many people, but the culture was just so dead. Like I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
It was the worst place I've ever worked at.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, that's fine. Maybe this is just a dub. Third job. I was like, what have I got on myself?
Yeah, what have I done?
Can I go back?
Yeah.
I genuinely in my head, it was like, is there a way back to that like role at that time? And I don't think there would have been. And I'm glad that I didn't. But I've always kind of chased
Yeah.
that feeling. And I finally feel like I've got that back at Comp.
Yeah. And that makes you appreciate it, man.
That's
It's
it.
like you'll
Yeah,
do anything that
like-
you can to protect it.
We have a great time. We're solving important, interesting things. Like we are building a cracked out company, but at the same time, the people that we've hired, the people that, I mean, you two, I love working with you guys. I enjoy being in your presence. We do great things together. I mean, what else? What more can you want? And I think when you have it, you may not realize it at the time.
Yeah.
But after that, you're cooked. Like I let's say I'm like, oh, you know what, these 2 douchebags, they annoy me all the time. No one ever agrees with me.
Which we do.
You know, they do, right? No one ever agrees with me. I'm out, right?
Yeah.
I can feel that same thing happening. I'd be like,
Yeah.
damn, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're gonna be like, what did I do?
Yeah, I think
How can I get back to
I think, I mean, frankly, I have moments like that too, where I'm just like, kind of like, I think I have a good idea, trying to push it, and then there's friction on both sides, and I'm like, do I really need to be dealing with this?
Yeah, it used to be easy.
Yeah, but I think the moment you take a step back, you just realize like we have something so good going.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, a couple months down the road, you're like, you know what? It was the
Yeah,
right
you're not
decision.
even gonna
yeah,
remember it.
you just gotta not get caught up
Yeah.
in like the heat of the small
Yeah.
things. Again, are you willing to die on this hill? Or like by die, I mean like literally die. No, like the answer is like what we've created here in the macro lens is like it's special.
Yeah.
Like I want to keep going.
You're such a wordsmith. The macro.
The macro.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
the academic. He's wearing the turtleneck, you know.
I am the professor.
Yeah, he brought the whole, you know,
It's giving MIT.
Yes.
encyclopedia.
I've gone too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ironically, if this whole thing works out, we'll probably be invited as like guest lecturers to talk to some of these guys. But
Are you gonna wear your turtleneck?
most certainly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
You can be the spokesperson.
Yeah.
I do hereby declare. I mean, you are a pretty good wordsmith. I'll give you
Yes.
that. Yes.
I don't know how, but he just got it.
You know, I think he's been practicing
Yeah.
potentially for somewhere between 6 and 7
Oh.
years. You know, at
Some might say
being a
yes.
wordsmith. Potentially. You never know.
Somewhere.
If I weigh these
somewhere in there.
options up,
Yeah, somewhere in between.
I would guess.
Hmm.
Oh,
Very interesting.
wow.
Sweet. Well,
Solomon, I feel like Solomon should ask a better question now. More questions, Solomon. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
Can we get more old fashions? I feel like we should.
Dan?
Can we get Dan? You finished your margarita.
I did a
I
long
finished
time
my
ago.
old fashioned.
long time. I'm still. I was making mine last because I
Because he's academic, he's not drinking.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, I'm going to.
I was steering.
Give this man some wine.
get him a glass of a nice red.
Yeah, get him
wine.
some. I don't even know why.
I'm gonna have to.
Some
He does like the smell,
Chardonnay or whatever.
does like the big inhalation.
You gotta
I
like
need to appreciate it
flush it
first.
in your mouth. You know,
Slush it and then spit
yeah,
it back out.
You gotta, you know,
Wow.
Can't let it go to
a
waste.
little sniff,
Yeah,
taste the undertones.
yeah. I know. I know.
It's a little earthy.
Yeah, earthy, citrusy undertones. Yeah.
A little bit of pecan.
It's giving a 2018 season.
You can taste the earth from, I don't know,
Yeah.
the Greenland.
You can taste the feet of the person who crushed these grapes.
As you guys are growing this company, how do you think you guys are going to be able to maintain this culture that you have as 3-person going into 5, going into 10 and 13? Like, how do you maintain that going into 30, 40, 50?
Remove anyone that goes against it quickly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's it.
That's true.
That's
But
probably the best answer, to be
I also
honest.
think that like we might start coaching people to
No.
know what the culture like that we want. Yes.
If,
No, no,
they're,
no.
if they're against it, if they come in and they're like, you know,
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like if you grow to like 1,000 people, right? You're gonna have multiple offices or whatever. You're not gonna be able to be in all of them all the time. So I think like you need to hire or not hire, but like you pick someone that you like and you're like
Yeah.
you need to maintain this culture.
But I feel like they do that already. Like whoever we hired has kind of like after they spend a couple of weeks here, they either lean in or they don't. And if
Yeah,
they
but
don't,
I feel like
they
you
don't,
don't
you
want
get rid of
someone
them.
to maintain.
If they do,
you know?
but once
Like,
they
while
do,
you're not there.
Once they do, that becomes the expectation. And if they do, and everyone else around them already did,
Yeah.
then they're gonna also hire people that resonate with that. So I think our job is to just make sure we get our immediate hires right.
Yeah.
If you solve that, then it just continues. I also think it's not just about maintaining culture; it's about kind of raising the bar for culture. So I actually think we've only scratched the surface around what the culture should be and will be in the future. So that's
I mean, a lot of the people at Comp AI right now have never experienced the Miami Lambo
that is true.
or the yacht.
That is
That is yeah.
that is iconic.
It's not even that expensive. If you think about it. In the grand scheme of things.
Oh, we'd have to get like 12 of them now, so that it could add up. But I mean, if you think about it,
I mean, that's not that bad.
it's like one contract. If you think about it, you know, it's
yeah.
one SOC too.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of
Depends which
things.
framework.
I mean,
We might need to tack on ISO.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe bundle it.
He saw me. Yeah, I gave him the side eyes. Like, yeah, we can charge maybe between 6 and 7 per framework. You know.
6 or 7 frameworks, maybe.
No, but I mean, yeah, you're right though. A lot of the people here, up until now anyway, especially from, I would say maybe like what, 5 or 6 people,
Yeah.
have probably missed out a little bit while we've been like fundraising.
Yeah.
And then when that comes through, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
What just
They
happened?"
don't know what's coming. They don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no one
It's gonna
knows.
be epic.
But you know, I also
The
sense
plans
like,
we have in our head.
I also sense like it does take people a little bit of time to kind of like come out of their shell.
Yeah.
Like they're a little bit shy when they're first showing. They don't know like what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. I think one thing culture is like we're very like open and direct, right? And I think in other companies, you're very PC. You're very like calculating
Are
what
you
you
trying to
can
say
say.
that you are not woke?
Very calculating what you can't say. This is New York, sir. This is not San Francisco.
God bless America.
God bless.
Honestly, if I had to say it again, God bless America. I love New York City.
Honestly, yeah.
I would have been
No
ran
regrets.
out of San Francisco very quickly. I know it. I mean, we went there a couple of weeks ago,
Listen,
right?
I felt like leaving San Francisco just like liberating me.
Yes.
I am unchained.
Yes.
Yes.
You could be more unchained. I feel like we have to unlock that from him at some point.
I feel like slowly it's.
We need to get him to schizo post at some point. It will happen. Disagree? You're not there yet. It's okay. You'll get there someday.
I mean, maybe create like an anonymous account, you know.
I feel like an anon account, a thin stack.
It's way better when you do it as like, you know, it's you. It's your personality.
Yeah, but I
right?
just have no urge, frankly.
I feel like it's not fun if you don't like say it with your chest. You know, like you're.
I feel like I say what I actually think.
Yes.
Have you seen all the hate he's gotten on X?
Oh yeah, I
And
mean,
LinkedIn?
Mr. In office only over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Every single remote worker in the U.S. hates him.
You should. You know what? I considered the other day
Well,
remaking a post like that.
You
Like,
should. You should. It probably banged.
Well, the one that I got death threats for, the firing someone
Yeah.
before they started the job.
Well, that
I
was
thinking
just a
about-
meme, right? But
Yeah, but I was considering like tweaking it a bit, posting it again, seeing if it has the same effect again. I mean, I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
it.
I feel like that's the second one that I've gotten like a lot of backlash for. The first one was like AI is going to take programmers' jobs.
oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
It
has.
is, it is.
It will
We're not
continue
wrong.
to.
They might not want to hear it, but like that
Yeah.
is happening.
Yeah, I
Only
mean,
the
and you know what? We're
neckbeards
probably gonna get hit
disagree.
on this podcast for saying that, but you know what? That's on them.
You know what?
It's not on me. I don't care.
Fuck you guys. I don't care.
I mean, I'm an engineer. Like I write
Yeah.
code. I see how much of it is like has shifted
Yeah.
towards prompting
Yeah.
instead of writing. So
Yeah, being at the driver's seat, we know that it's.
So these guys can't gaslight me just because they want to keep their jobs and work 2 hours a day in big tech and hide behind.
The person
the Zoom.
filming this podcast, do you think they would do the same for like AI images and media? Like,
Well,
I think
there's still always two paths to go. There's like either you embrace the tools and you do 100% of the work,
Yeah.
like 100x the
Yeah.
work, or you deny the tools. You're a purist, and then you get left behind. So
Yeah.
you can choose what you want.
The people who do use the tools are going to be way more efficient and better than the people who don't.
If I were you though, I would start using the tools today, so you can become one of the best at using those tools. You have
Right.
the most experience because you've been using them since day one.
yep.
But to each their own. If they want to get left behind, and
It do be like that.
Yes.
Yes. Do you think there's ever been a startup that's had 3 technical co-founders, like in history?
yeah,
That's got to this point.
100%.
3?
Yeah.
No way. I actually think there probably isn't.
Probably some like hardcore, like
3,
like
No,
3
I-
fully technical that have got to Series A.
Well, I just don't think they advertise it. So I think even if people met us in the wild,
yeah.
they would not assume that we're all technical.
That's
I
true.
guarantee you.
Maybe.
I guarantee you. So I think it's
I'm
just like
technical, by
it's
the
just
way.
kind of obscure. Yeah.
I'm the only one with the glasses.
I can code. I can sell and code.
yeah. I can
Yeah.
prove it.
Actually, can't really code that well. Still,
No, I think you can. I think you don't give yourself enough credit.
I have to like I have to like pick up the old habits again. I feel myself.
Yeah, but
like,
that's with anyone. Like you get rusty
falling out
on
of
whatever
it.
skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's another company, Mercor.
Yeah, Mercor.
Yeah.
Mercor.
They have 3 co-founders, it says.
There you go.
Are they all technical?
I don't know.
See, we don't know.
Go
It's
on that-
obscure.
Yeah. God damn it.
It's not well.
It's not
it's
going
not
to
well.
go asking. Like,
It's not well.
are all
indexed.
3 of you technical?
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you sure?
Show me.
I'll show you how technical I am, boy.
Code right now. All 3 of you.
No AI. No AI allowed. I mean, you get to that point.
That is how I interviewed my engineers. Even though I wanted
no
to use
AI.
AI, I told them they
think
couldn't
that
use AI.
I never wanted to die on the hill, but I thought it was very stupid.
Well, I'm gonna die in a hill, and I thought it was genius.
Okay.
Say more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
so wait. So you expect, and just hear me out for a second.
Yep.
You would say to someone, you are not allowed to use AI, even though I expect you to use AI every single day when
Yes.
you work for Comp AI.
Yes.
I stand with that, by the way.
Yes, because I need to know that they understand how to code and they understand what's going on.
Okay.
And they can actually do it.
Yeah.
Like if the AI fails for some reason, they're not just stuck and they don't know what happened. Or if the AI writes some shit code, they need to be able to tell that the code is shit.
I would say that it's a skill issue on your behalf and not being able to see that without them using AI. Because you can tell when someone is only
Because what if
technical.
the AI one-shots it in the interview?
Okay, yeah, sure. But you can still ask them questions that gets like something out of them, right? And you can I mean, I feel like I can tell when people are using AI for a lot of stuff, especially like the way they speak, or if people use AI to like generate like X posts, like you can tell that it's like AI generated. Like you have a good eye for it.
Yeah, I
I think it's the same with technical.
I think you get a lot more information if you actually kind of test them on the raw skills.
Yeah,
you-
sure.
I mean, because you go at that point.
But
It's
how
like,
do you
okay,
even know? How can you tell that they aren't using AI then? So you did remote interviews, right? You didn't require every single person to
I required everyone
come to
to
the
screen
office.
share.
to screen share.
Yeah,
but
their
there's,
whole screen.
there's literally apps designed.
Okay,
to
yeah, but you
hidden.
can literally look at their eyes and see if they're reading something, or you can tell if there's latency between the response.
There's AI that changes your eye. Right, so you
Okay,
have
but
like you have like
Not-
the-
Okay, now you're going like 3 steps.
People are not that clever.
But if they were that clever,
But they're
could you not argue that if they went through all of that effort to hide it
think
from you,
that's
would
the
you not
exception.
argue that
if they were that clever, then they're just shooting themselves in the foot, because the moment they join the company and they show
I
they're
would-
incompetent, you fire them within 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So who cares if they
So
use
so
AI?
it's a waste of time. But most people are not going to do that, right? So like you're interviewing for the 99% of people for the 9% of people, period,
Yeah,
who don't do that.
I would 100%.
You're not
use-
interviewing for the 1% that
I
might.
I know with zero doubt in my mind that I would use something like AI during an interview. If I for some reason had to do like an engineering
Yeah.
interview next time, I would be the sort of person to do it.
But if you didn't deliver within the first 2 weeks of being in that company, you probably get clipped.
Yeah, but you can figure it out. You can look.
If you can figure it out, sure. But if you can figure it out, then you were good enough in the first place.
Yeah,
Fine.
so
good
that's
for
what
you.
I'm saying. Like,
But
so what's the problem with
But I
using
think
it?
I think the people that would typically resort to that would not be able to figure it out, and that's why they're resorting to that. Because if you're confident in your ability, then you wouldn't need to go through all the trouble
I think you're both.
to compensate.
I think
that
you're
much.
both being very decel about it. I think a lot of companies would just accept that, okay, people are going to use AI during interviews. You embrace it, and then you figure out from other things if they are good at the job or not.
No, I think most companies
I think-
would interview without AI,
Well,
and
I
they would
don't
not
think
let
they
you use
can.
AI.
I don't think that I don't think there's anything that they can do to prove that you are or aren't using AI.
But it's not
So
about
the only
proving
way
it.
to
It's
do
about
it
it's about trying to gather as much information as you can. That's accurate for the vast majority of people.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, sure. But I mean, the only way you can really know is by getting someone on site and literally looking at their screen, right? Screen sharing is impossible.
I
to
think you're
know.
assuming that most people are cheating in their interviews, and I don't think that's true.
I think a lot of people are.
I mean, I interviewed like a lot of people, like 20, 25 engineers. None of them cheated.
But you can't say that with certainty. You have no idea if you.
Yeah, but
if-
neither
if-
can you. You also can't say with certainty that they did. So you're at an impasse, regardless.
I'd love to know what everyone else thinks about it. It keeps
Yeah.
me up at night. This question, it keeps me up at night. I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day,
I mean,
look,
I'm not willing to die on it. So I was never.
Yeah.
You run your process.
we can spin the wheel to see who's right.
I'm down.
No, because this
He's like- he's
that's
like-
not how reality will die in the hill.
Yeah.
all right, fair enough. Fair
So he's
enough.
got more conviction.
I genuinely would love to know, like, if we went and like surveyed like 100 people their
Yeah.
opinion on it.
I mean, listen.
'Cause I'm
Bottom line
curious,
is
though.
like,
I mean, I don't care that
Look,
much.
look,
but I'm curious.
If you ask me in 2 years the same question, I would let them use AI because I think it's good enough in 2 years for it to like not make mistakes and not make like stupid code.
it's being decel right now.
No, I just don't think it's
Opus
at the point where it's good
4.5
enough
is
for it.
literally cracked.
it gets
cracked
stuck.
out.
It gets stuck.
No.
Sure, it gets stuck every now and then, but I mean, like 99% of the time, it's
No,
cracked.
no,
No.
about 80% of the time. And then you actually have to go deep in the weeds to figure out like the exact like root cause of why it failed. Otherwise, you're stuck.
Yeah.
Switch models.
We've had people who we've given work trials that actually get stuck with AI, and they actually don't ship that much.
Yeah.
And then they're
I actually did have one guy.
So it's not really that good.
You did.
I had one guy that I interviewed with Cursor. Like he basically copied the README into Cursor and it just did everything. Then I started trying to ask him questions on like, okay, let's build this new feature. Let's do this. He got stuck. The AI ran into a bug. It was like some tailwind thing. Like I told him just fix the color, he didn't know what to do. He was trying to prompt it, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why don't you just go to the file and write the one little line of
Well,
code
look at the thing.
to fix it, you know?
That's fair.
So that was one example, but I'm sure, like, you know, it goes to show that people don't know how to debug it. And I would think it's like the majority of people are not fluent with AI tools yet to that extent.
I just find it really interesting that's the hill that you're willing to die on when you are the sort of person to go on like LinkedIn and be like, yeah, every engineer should be using AI because if you're not, you're going to be left behind.
Yeah,
So
operating
it's
keyword
almost
there.
like
Yeah, but
you're-
operating keyword there is engineer. So
Sure,
we're hiring
sure.
engineers who use AI, not
Yes.
just AI users who are not really
Because
engineers.
if I know that they can,
I don't disagree.
if I see them and I know that they can write code well, then I know that AI is going to enhance them 1,000x.
Enhancing. Yes,
Right?
that's kind of what you're looking for right
So
now.
it's not like replacing right now. It's more like enhancing them. Like I know that it's going to bring their output way more.
I think that's the formula, to be honest, is like, yeah, you need like good raw material
Yeah.
to then 100x. So that's what we're really
Yeah,
looking
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and I'm not saying that
Yeah.
you should hire people that don't know how to code. All right, I'm not saying I'm not trying to fight for that. But I do think that it's almost like on you as a hiring like person to figure out, like, okay, give them all of the tools available to them, let them go, do whatever they want throughout the process. Let's say you have like, okay, you have to do this, like the output of this interview should be you have made this app or whatever, right? Or some type of test.
Yeah.
You just let them use whatever tools are available to them, and you should be good enough at understanding if they were able to do it with or without it, even if they used it.
I think it's the other way around. It's like what you don't want to be testing for the base case. You want to be testing for the edge case. And the edge case is when they have to eject from the tools to go figure it out by hand. So, because that's the hard part. The easy part is the base case where like you can one-shot things. The hard part is, okay, the model messed up. Now you have to go ahead and fix it. Can you do that? So I think the interview should be structured on the hard parts of it, the edge cases.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, it's not a hill that I'm willing to
Yeah.
die on. I just find it interesting that you're very, both of you are very like acceleration, and then you're like, but you're not allowed to use AI during an interview. That's right. Weird.
Well, it's supposed to be a test. And that is a way to test.
Yeah, you're testing the edge case because that is where people what makes or breaks an engineer is like, are they going to be stuck for 3 hours because they don't know how to properly like basically
But
migrate
it's the edge-
between the systems and get the systems to work well.
But if the edge case is, okay, how often would it go down for 3 hours?
What's that?
Like, how often would it go down for 3 hours? Like, has that happened to us recently?
Would what go down?
Like an AI. The AI.
No, it's not the AI going down. It's them getting stuck in a rabbit hole.
Or like the AI is making mistakes.
Because the AI is making mistakes. They don't know how to properly debug it.
But I'm curious at how often that will happen.
I think it happens very often.
Like, and if you could get them at, let's say, a great price because they aren't as technical maybe, but they can use the model somewhat to like steer them. And okay, once a month for 1 day, they go down a rabbit hole, get stuck, start fresh the next day, and they get it.
Well, that assumes
Like,
that
would
it's
that
that assumes that it's once a month, but that's actually not true. Like,
I actually don't know enough
It's-
right
it-
now to
yeah.
say it's once a month or once a week or once every day.
it's many times a day.
Yeah.
See, the recent stuff that I've been doing, I've never had to like, I don't think I've ever had to like really go down like this rabbit hole. of
Because
figuring
you're a
out-
better engineer than you give yourself credit
Sure.
for. So that the thing is like, you know how to prompt, you know
but
how to
I
ask
have
for
had
things to get to
times-
steer.
But I have had times in the, like 6 months ago, 12 months ago, I have had that happen. I'm like,
Yeah.
goddamn, like I wish it would work because like I've not been able to figure out on
Yeah.
my own. And I had to like, all right, completely, kill all of the context, restart cursor, delete all the files so it doesn't have it in my memory, or like start from scratch, right? Maybe even a different model.
Well, you can't do that with like a
That's-
big code base now, right?
Yeah, sure. But I mean, like let's say you're working on like a specific feature. Like I had it yesterday where I asked it to do something, and then I actually wanted to completely go down like a different like path. So I deleted the files that it made. I was like, I'll just delete them. I wanted to start from fresh. I don't want it to taint like the how it should do it. And even though I deleted the file, it still had like some memory of it. So it did it the exact same way, right? But then it rarely happens. Like I don't think there's been anything that I've done anyway, and maybe it's just because I'm not in the code base enough anymore that I don't see
Yeah.
it as a problem.
My feeling is that you weren't working on like complex enough features. Maybe it was like a
You.
simple task.
It was very complex, okay? Not even MIT Andes would be able to do it.
Yeah.
Once you get to the complex features where it touches a lot of parts and stuff like that, like
That's fair.
you
Yeah.
need to understand what's going on,
That's fair.
Yeah.
especially like cross repos and things like that. Like AI can't figure that out.
Yet. I mean, sure, it's going to get better, but I think for now we need to hire engineers that are good to contribute today to the code base,
Right.
not contribute to the code base 2 years from now when the AI is much better.
Yeah, I'm sure in 2 years AI is not going to be making mistakes or like silly mistakes at least.
Yeah, I think maybe the role will move more towards like a product manager is the one who's actually like writing all the code, frankly, and like they just need to understand more like user requirements, and the AI can kind of like translate that to technical requirements. That's how it works in real teams.
Yeah.
So
So
you know,
are we being low IQ by not getting those kind of people right now?
I don't think they exist yet.
I think they do.
Like
exist. I think there's definitely people.
It's
that
going to be like
exist.
impossible to find.
which kind of people?
Like people who can steer it in a direction and maybe only get stuck like one
that-
percent of the time.
But those today, that role is basically like a senior engineer. That's 100 or 1000x.
Yeah.
It's a senior engineer or a former founder that's like basically technical and has some product like taste.
Yeah.
So I think that role to me is like kind of the unicorns of today, and that role is going to continue to shift more non-technical over time. But I think what we need to do as a team to try to be more like accelerationist is to pay attention to like what the cutting edge of that role is. So today I do think it's like the technical former founder or like technical former engineer turned PM type of role.
Yeah.
That I think next year it might actually be PM that was never technical. And then the year after that, it might actually be like a VP of product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the year after that, it might actually be a CEO who like never had to write any code, but you just like just thinking about strategy and then giving that to AI.
Yeah, that's fair. So no AI during interviews.
For now.
I mean, if you're watching this, back me up. Feel free to. Feel free to back me up in the comments.
Or back me up.
Or back him up if you want to.
Yeah.
I won't judge.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I'd be
curious.
curious to see what people think.
I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah.
I wonder, like,
Yeah.
you know, if there's like 100 people out
Well, I mean,
there,
I think
how many
the
people-
honest question is like, have you found an effective way of evaluating people? Like,
I mean,
with AI? So you're not stuck. Basically, I think the challenge is sort of like you're sitting there during an interview, and all you're doing is waiting for someone to like for the inference to end. And right now, the models are getting very good at sometimes running tasks for like 20 to 30 minutes. So like, if the entire interview is you writing one prompt, and then the interviewer just sitting there and waiting for 30 minutes for the entire thing to complete, that's not a very productive interview. So the real question I think underlying is like,
I guess the test shouldn't be that complicated though. Right? Like, it shouldn't be
But those are the questions. Is like,
even if you're interviewing and no AI usage.
yeah, it's like what are the best ways that you
Should be
found to
objective.
like get the most information possible from candidates within a short window of time? I think that's the ultimate way you're trying to solve is like
Yeah.
the most signal for 30 minutes worth or 45 minutes worth.
We're gonna need someone to clip this and like get it to go viral so we can actually know everyone's opinions on it. No pressure.
Yes. It's
Crack.
going to be great.
Sweet. All right, I think we've been running for like an hour and a half or maybe more.
Any more questions, Solomon?
We're yappers.
I think it's a good place to put a pause on this.
All right. I feel like Mariano should say bye like we did last time.
All right. Thank you so much for watching our episode 1. Or
What
I
we
guess-
did last time was we sang the national anthem on our way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
Close.
I'm sure Lewis knew the national anthem by heart.
He did. He surprised me as an American.
Should we put him on the spot right now?
Oh, sick. Wait, is that how it goes? Oh, shit. I know. See, I know it. You know, fucking USA.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
I actually know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen South Park way too many times.
okay.
Yeah,
That makes
it's
sense.
too easy.
That's like every public school in the U.S.
God bless
Every
these
morning.
United States.
You listen to the morning announcements.
You know, I think the US is unique in the fact that it's the only place in the world that does that. Like, I'm pretty sure no other country in the world.
Korea does that probably.
I pledge
It's
allegiance.
the U.S. the new North Korea.
More serious than the US probably.
Like
See, Solomon's not mic'd up, but he said North Korea does that too.
you pledge an allegiance to a flag.
I'm pretty sure.
You're telling every children
To the supreme
child?
leader, yes.
Yes, yes. Except it's not a flag, it's just a picture of King Jong-un.
But you know, I actually like it though. Like I think it's a great. I think that's what makes America America.
I think so too.
Like, I
yeah.
actually think
It's
it
very
is like
patriotic.
you ruined the clip, sir. God damn it. No, I genuinely think that's probably a reason why every American fucking loves America, right? In the UK, I'm pretty
Obsessed.
sure like most people from the UK are like, if you ask them to pledge allegiance
Yeah, I
to
guess
a flag,
It's kind of
they
like
would-
brainwashing you, no?
They're kind of call
From
you
a
like
young age. Yeah.
You get looked at like you're some like crazy like racist guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, hell no. That's not.
And I
very
hear it's everyone's
nice.
proud. They're like, hell yeah.
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 But it's kind of seen as like a
America.
bad thing in other places. I like
I
it. I'm
think
a big fan. We should do
Mexico
that
is
in the
also
UK.
very, very big. They also do that in Mexico, actually.
Very patriotic.
I think we also do like national anthem in the morning or whatever,
Maybe it's just
or
Europe.
once a week, right? I remember-
Maybe it's just Europe. where
Yeah, I
it's
think
not,
certain
like,
countries,
common.
but yeah.
But there's probably a good reason for it.
I don't know. I'm not from Europe.
The Nazis, maybe.
I would've-
that's probably a reason.
There might be something like that, yeah.
Something like post-war. Kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
That's fair.
I can see
Stop
that.
being so patriotic because
Yeah.
we caused issues with that at some point.
Yeah, it's not a bad hypothesis.
Yeah.
A little scarring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid past issues.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Anyway, I like how we became like a cool podcast at the end there, talking about cultural things as opposed to tech and startups. But,
Yeah. Right.
all right, Godspeed.
So yeah, as I was saying,
So do you want
Covered here.
to? Are you gonna sing the fucking national anthem?
No,
or
I'm
what?
not gonna sing the national
That's what we get at here.
should we just cut it there? All right. Cheers.